Some knowledge is so dangerous that we just can't give it to everybody. And if we believe that the First Amendment applies to everything, everybody should have access to everything, then we're going to destroy ourselves. Because we'll give people you wouldn't want to give everybody the prints to the atom bomb. And a lot of the information we're creating is very similar to that in its power, like the sequence for a deadly disease. It's just information. Is it just speech? Should we give it to everybody? I think the answer has to be no. So that means if you have to choose between having civilized outcomes and having an unrestricted First Amendment, you choose civilized outcomes and you restrict the First Amendment.
Dogs and cats and mice and rats have over 90% the same set of genes that we have, which is why their biology is so similar. But we have the limitations of our genetic heritage. We make our judgments based on our visual acuity. Our visual system is only good for detecting so much. I see you as an intact individual. I don't see you as 100 trillion cells, because our visual acuity doesn't allow that level of measurement. But yet that's what each of us has in our body. And each of those cells has the same complete set of genes in the genome in it. And that set of genes is shared, as the biology of that cell structure is shared with every other mammal and most other species on the planet. We are still evolving. We don't know where that evolution will take us or other species. But evolution happens on a so much longer time course than human existence. We've only been around for maybe 100,000 years as a modern species. Evolution takes place over millions and even hundreds of millions of years.
Smallpox is the greatest threat because of its high lethal power and the ability to be disseminated, and it's contagious. It could be transmitted from one person to another. It's a very realistic scenario that somebody infected with a dangerous disease could spread the disease among passengers of the commercial flight. The person could fly essentially anywhere in the world, and nobody would recognize that the person is sick until very obvious symptoms takes place. But again, that could be quite difficult to recognize for some health authorities or in some countries. So if people are not prepared to be careful, if people do not take measures to protect themselves from casual spread of the disease, that a single infected person could be very dangerous.
I'm not sure that we're going to change the subsidies until we appreciate the true impact of climate change and its devastating effects on our environment. Climate change is real. It's taking place as we speak. The race is on. There's a lot of things we can do. We can make it marketplace friendly to reduce greenhouse gases. Obviously, alternate energy, nuclear power. We can make the necessary steps if we will have the courage to do so and face up to the issue. Until the majority of Americans appreciate the consequences of climate change and human activity, i.e. greenhouse gases, we won't see a change, because the special interests, the automobile manufacturers, the coal miners, all the special interests that are arrayed against it will argue that it'll cripple our economy. The fact is, if we don't do something about this, then our economy as well as our environment is going to be crippled, because we'll have to take far more draconian measures the longer we wait.
Additional interviews include Sir Martin Rees, Baroness Susan Greenfield, Sim van der Ryn, and many others. Listen to what the experts have to say on Conversations on the 21st Century.